In James 2:17, it says this: in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Is faith actually dead without works? What does he mean by that? And I think we have to kind of dive into what is works. What does Jesus say works is? Let's look at John 6:29. Jesus answered, "The work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent." Now let's look at what Jesus was referring to right before this. In John 6:27, Jesus is answering his disciples by saying, "Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. For on him God the Father has placed his seal of approval." So we understand now that what Jesus is referring to as work is simply to put your faith in him, to believe in him. The word "in," it's very important. When we say believe in him, what does that actually mean? First, we have to answer questions like, well, who is Jesus? For one, he claims to be the Son of God. He's also the resurrection. And in John 14, he says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." And you have to believe another snippet of that verse too, that no one comes to the Father except through me. Let's dive into that a little bit. Whoa, who's this guy? You see, like, all it is simply if you put your belief in Jesus, not about him. Look, atheists know he existed, right? They might not believe that he did miracles, but they know he existed. You know what? Let's break this down. He's telling you to put your faith in him, and things start happening, right? When Noah built the ark, it's because he had faith in God. Everyone's running around trying to do the right thing. Christians want to do the right thing, but that's not what God is requiring here. God is simply asking us to believe in him. Jesus is just saying the work is to believe in him. So that's why faith and works go together. Faith without works is dead. What works is dead? Jesus, the belief in Jesus, believing in Jesus. Without that work, it is faith that dies. You do not have faith if you do not believe in Jesus. Look at the Pharisees. They had faith in God. They believed in God, but they did not have put their faith in the one true nature of his Son. They did not put their faith into Jesus Christ. And it cost their souls. Faith is critical, but without works is dead. And a lot of these old Pharisees at this time, their faith wasn't exposed to be dead until Christ came. But before that, everyone thought the Pharisee was above all. He was the high priest. So in Luke 15, the Pharisees were muttering under their breath, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." The Pharisees were actually upset that this man sat down with sinners. All of us are sinners. And he sat down with us. If Jesus were here right now, he'd be sitting with you. So let's continue on to read. "There will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent." Think about what Jesus is saying there. Wow. He's going to call on the one sinner who needs to repent. That one sinner. I know I was one of them, and he came and found me. Jesus is calling you, but you have to respond to him. And that's why works is putting your faith in him. When Jesus is calling on you, put your faith in him and go. Put your faith in him. When you get anxious, don't be anxious. Put your faith in him. Let him have it. Believe in him. You know, just like football players, I don't know, let's say in soccer, any kind of sport, you have that one player, you're like, "Man, we believe in you. You got this. I believe in you. You got this." Obviously, it's not a fairy tale character you're talking about. So it's not about that kind of belief. It's belief in them that they will do what you need them to do, that they will come through for that team. That's what believing in is. So the work of God is this: believe in Jesus. Believe in him. Believe he has died for you and resurrected for you. My favorite line out there is this: if there was nobody else on the earth, if all were good and righteous except you, Jesus would still do what he did. He would still get on that cross and die for you. You are special. You are very special in the eyes of God. That personal relationship is between you and God.